With Jordan Poole's arrival in Washington, plenty have people had offered their opinions on how it might play out. The most interesting take that we've heard so far is that Jordan Poole could be the next James Harden. Kevin Garnett said this on his show last week, and to be honest, it got the wheels turning for me. Maybe it's just not as crazy as it seems on its surface. Jordan Poole just had 41 points in the Garden last night, putting his scoring abilities on full display. When you compare Jordan and Harden's career early on, there are some similarities. James Harden got traded after his third year in the league, primarily because they didn't want to pay him. He got traded to the Houston Rockets, a team that had been floating around 500 for a couple of years prior to his acquisition. Jordan Poole, on the other hand, got traded after his fourth year in the league, primarily because they paid him a little bit too much for his role. Poole also gets dealt to a team who's been middling around 500 basketball for the last couple seasons. The exception here is that Jordan Poole got punched in the face in practice before the season started, which likely derailed all chemistry and hopes for a Jordan Poole leap year in Golden State. Both James Harden and Jordan Poole were put in new situations where they get to be the guy or one of the guys, while their old situation they played off of the bench because of their former teams having so much talent. Only time will tell to see if Jordan Poole will be an MVP one day, but in today's video, we're going to look at how Jordan Poole can be the best version of himself for the Washington Wizards. As we know, Jordan Poole has never seen a shot he doesn't like. To couple that, Jordan really has the ability to score from anywhere on the floor when he wants to, in almost any way he wants to. One of his most lethal weapons is how Jordan can operate beyond the three-point line, especially from extended range. Nearly 72% of Jordan's three-point shots from last season are from 25 feet and further, and he shoots 34% on those shots. The season prior, 2021-22, he shot 37.1% on those same shots on similar volume. I don't want to fully discount the statistics from last season, but I really do feel like the punch messed up his year last year. What makes Jordan so special as an offensive player is his seamless ability to play both on and off the ball. Jordan does a tremendous job of filling the lanes in transition to find open threes on the wings or in the corner. Now that he has Tyus Jones leading the break with him, one of the league's most talented playmakers, Poole is going to be finding himself open a lot in this Washington offense. Then, as we know, when Jordan is feeling himself, he likes to get busy. Although I'm not quite sure if Denny is a big fan of the pool party. I am excited to see Jordan Poole in a more traditional half-court offense in Washington, as opposed to the chaotic flow offense that Steve Kerr liked to run in Golden State. I believe that type of offense can encourage bad shots at times. It works really well for Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. It doesn't mean it's going to work for everyone else. With how dynamic Jordan Poole is as a shooter, I think he can become a very effective scorer playing in the pick and roll. If the defender goes all the way under the screen, the result is a wide open three for Poole, as he can pull comfortably from just about anywhere on the floor. If the defender gets caught on the screen and the big drops, he can easily pull up from 15 to 20 feet. If the defender guarding Poole gets caught on his back, Jordan can roll all the way to the rim for the finish. The world will be Jordan Poole's oyster in Washington, as I imagine he will lead the team in shots per game this season, and I think there's a great chance he will be one of the league's top scorers this season. One of Jordan Poole's biggest knocks is the amount of shots he can take at times, and in turn, that leads to a lack of passing. While this might be true in some capacity, Jordan Poole has flashed lots of playmaking chops over the course of his career thus far. Since the beginning of the 2021-22 season, Poole has averaged 4.4 assists as a starter. Poole does a fine job making all of the basic reads as a playmaker. He is more than capable at collapsing defenses in pick and roll situations and finding the open shooter. This is one of the most important reads that any scorer in the NBA needs to be able to make if they want to expand their game and take the leap to the next level. Jordan has also done a nice job as the orchestrator in transition. He doesn't allow himself to get sped up on the break. He will just wait until the opening presents itself, and he will make a nice pass to the open man as the opposing defense scrambles. If Poole can become a more willing passer and regularly make the extra pass, I think Poole has a chance at becoming one of the league's most dangerous offensive players. This is where I think we could draw back to the James Harden comparison that we saw in the beginning of this video. We know Harden now as one of the most gifted passers this game has ever seen, and currently still one of the best playmakers in the NBA. In Harden's final season in OKC, he averaged just over 4 assists a game. This goes to show that playmaking is something that can be developed over time, as year to year Harden got better and better as a playmaker as he got more experience being the primary option. As a starter in Golden State last year, Poole was solidly effective despite his efficiency dwindling a little bit, which I attribute to the toxic work environment for Poole. 24.6 points per game, 4.6 assists, and about 3 rebounds a game, while shooting 43% from the field, 33% from 3, and 88% from the free throw line, playing 33 minutes a night as a starter. In the NBA last season, there were only 20 qualifying players in the NBA who averaged 24 or more points per game. Is it likely that Poole ends up like Harden? I'd say probably not. Harden turned himself into one of the greatest one-man offenses we have ever seen in NBA history, but I'd say there's a good chance that Poole can turn himself into a very effective player and possibly be an all-star one day. The Wizards have a slept-on supporting cast surrounding Jordan Poole. Tyus Jones, I believe, is in for a good year, as he's been one of the NBA's best playmakers for the last couple of seasons. Kuzma is a Swiss Army knife at the 4 who provides offense in a lot of ways, kind of like Jordan Poole does. Then you have Dan Gafford manning the 5, who is an athletic rim runner who can protect the rim on defense, as well as Denny Advia at the 3, a young point forward in the making. This Wizard squad could be a lot of fun this year, although I'm not exactly sure how successful they're going to be. With the NBA season just around the corner, we finally get to see how all the competition stacks up. If you're curious about any of the other young talent we've seen so far in the NBA this preseason, make sure you guys check out some of my recent videos where I get an opportunity to talk about some of those players.